My notes on solving practical problems with two-step equations. So we have a set of steps here, and you'll notice these steps are very similar to the steps that we follow when we solve practical problems with one-step equations. So the first step is to read the problem, underline key words, define the variable, and write the equation. After you write the equation, of course, you have to solve your equation. And then, of course, analyze your answer. Does it make sense? Okay, so let's look at number one. And of course, we're going to read the problem, underline keywords. We're going to make sure we define our variable and write the equation. We're going to solve the equation. Then finally, we're going to analyze our answer. Does it make sense? So let me just clear the screen here and scroll down. Okay, number one says it costs $28 per day. So this is, I'm going to underline this, and of course, per day means multiply by the number of days. Per means multiply. Plus 16 cents per mile to rent a car. Again, per means multiply. Courtney's charge for one day was $69.50. How many miles did Courtney drive? Okay, so for my variable, I'm going to use m equals miles. Okay, so we identified some keywords here. We said $28 per day. Well, it says right here that it's for one day. And what's 28 times 1? 28. So we're not going to show that we multiplied 28, but we know it was only for one day, so it's $28. Plus 16 cents per mile. Now we don't know how many miles, so we're going to use an m. Remember, we said that per mile means multiply, so we're going to multiply by the miles. And that, of course, is going to equal 69.50 because was is the past tense of is, so it means equals 69.50. Okay, so we are going to circle the variable, and we're going to draw our t. Now, when we want to get rid of the 28, what is here does not matter. If it was a plus sign, if it was a minus sign, what matters is what's in front of the 28. And I don't see anything, so it means it's positive 28. So I want to subtract 28 to make it equal 0. So the 28s will cancel. Bring down your variable. And now do your subtraction. 69.50 minus 28, of course, is 41.50. Now, the opposite of multiplication is division. So we're going to divide both sides by 0.16. Of course, this will equal 1 in disguise, so m will equal 259 and 375 thousandths miles. So 259 and 375 thousandths miles. Okay. So let's see. If we want to see if this is, it's hard to see if this is really reasonable. The best way to look at this is to just check it. And remember, the way we check it would be 28 plus 0.16 times my answer because number in front of letter means multiply. And if it equals 6950, then we did it correct. And of course, it does equal 6950 if you try that on your own. Okay, so let's look at number 2. Tucker is 10 years less than half his father's age. So, Tucker is 10 years, and I see a switch around word, so I'm going to circle it so I remember to switch the order. Half his father's age. Tucker is 12 years old. How old is his father? So I want to know F equals father's age. Okay, so trying to figure out how to set this problem up. It says Tucker is, which means the equation is going to equal Tucker's age. And of course, if we look down here, Tucker is 12 years old. So the equation is going to equal 12. Now, it says 10 years less than half his father's age. Well, we know 10 years is 10. We know less than means minus. And we know 1/2 is written as 1 over 2. And we're taking half his father's age. So that means we're multiplying 1/2 by his father's age. So if it should be 10 minus 1/2 f, but then we see less than, so I have to switch the order. And so we're going to write 1/2 f minus 10 equals 12. Now circle your variable and draw your t. The opposite of subtracting 10 is adding 10. Of course, the 10s will equal 0, so bring down your variable. And 12 plus 10 is 22. Now to get rid of a fraction, we use the multiplicative inverse, and the multiplicative inverse of 1/2 is 2 over 1, but we know that 2 divided by 1 is 2, so we can multiply both sides by 2. 2 times 1/2 is a 1 in disguise, so of course f equals 22 times 2, which is 44 years old. And I know this looks like a B, but it is a cursive F. Okay, now let's see. Is that reasonable that Tucker's father would be older than Tucker? Yeah. And if we want to double check this, we can just plug it into our calculator. 1 divided by 2 times 44 minus 10. And when we hit equals, we should get 12. And of course, if you're trying this on your own, you will know that you do get 12 when you plug in 44. Okay, so let's move down. We have 2 more examples to look at, and then you should be able to try some of these on your own. Okay. Number 3 says Alexandra completed 1/3 of her assignments and then was assigned 4 more. So let's underline keys here. Completed 1/3 of her assignments. Assigned 4 more. She now has 8 assignments left. How many assignments did Alexandra start with? So basically this is asking me for A equals assignments. Okay, now we have to figure out how we're going to write this. So let's look at this. Alexandra completed 1/3 of her assignments. We know that of means multiply, and we know that we write 1/3 like this. And if we want to show multiplication, we put the fraction in front of the letter. We don't need to write a multiplication symbol. And then was assigned 4 more. Well, it doesn't say more than, so we're not going to switch the order, but we know that more means add, so plus 4. Now, we got to figure out what this equation is going to equal, and it says she now has. So there's our equals word. So equals 8 assignments left. So after she does this, she will have 8 left. Okay, so we're going to circle our variable and draw our t. The opposite or inverse of adding 4 is subtracting 4. 4 minus 4 is 0. Bring down your variable. and 8 minus 4 is 4. Now, we talked about this. Okay, now we've got to get rid of the fraction, so we use the reciprocal or the multiplicative inverse. And the multiplicative inverse of 1/3, of course, is 3 over 1, because I flipped it. But we all know that 3 divided by 1 is 3, so we can multiply both sides by 3. So 3 times 1/3 is a 1 in disguise, so A equals 12 assignments. Okay, we have one last problem to work on. So it says Jackie has 23 Breyer horse models. Okay, so Jackie. Now, Jackie has, so that means Jackie's going to equal 3 more than 5 times the number Blaze has. Number of Breyer horse models is Blaze. How many Breyer horse models does Blaze have? So how many does Blaze have? So B equals Blaze. Okay, so we know Jackie equals, and we know how many Jackie has. So we know if Jackie equals, then the equation is going to equal 23. Okay, I could have started with 23 equals, but I always like to put it at the end. That's just a preference. And 3 more than 5 times the number Blaze has. Well, we know 3 plus 5 times, we know times means multiply, so I can write 5b. But we know that because I circled it, I can't write 3 plus 5b. I have to write 5b plus 3. So, circle your 5b, draw your t. The inverse or opposite of adding 3 is subtracting 3. 3 minus 3 is 0, and 5b will equal 20. The opposite of multiplication is division. So we would divide both sides by 5. 5 divided by 5 is a 1 in disguise. So I'm going to write my answer over, well, I can squeeze my answer in over here. So B equals 4 horse models. Okay, and that concludes our notes on solving two-step practical problems. I hope you learned something and have a great day.